Larry did have a heart attack, and I wasn't with him at that time. It was right before I met him. And he talked to me about being in the back room of the hospital and screaming in pain, and that he wasn't being helped properly. And he was in the middle of trying to sue the hospital, I believe. He was talking about that. And again, I think when I put it all together, everything, including that, had to do with obtaining, income, fundage, money. It was always about that. All his errands he ran, everything had to do with making money. Afterward, like I talked about in his concerts, he would really play that up. Or when we were in restaurants, I know he thought to himself to do this, because I saw behind the scenes that he was beyond absolutely fine, stronger than an ox. He'd have me carry his luggage through an airport, again for appearances, but then when we got home or to his parents' house, where we'd be going, he'd be the one to unload. Strong as a horse does, bam, bam, no problems at all. But we'd go to a restaurant, like in Ireland, the one time, he staged a little mild attack, conveniently. Of course, unbeknownst to me, but I knew afterward that's what it was. He decided to go, with the acting. And I'd say, oh my goodness, are you okay? And the guy, our guide who was there, said, oh, get him some aspirin. And, oh, yeah. So I helped him get him some aspirin. He's so weak, He takes the aspirin, and it was all staged, every movement. And this is what I'm telling you. Everything was about appearances. This is why you must not question him in public. And this is why, like in Ireland, after the concert, and he sang this song that he wrote about me, and as any woman would have said, oh, that's so amazing and heartwarming. And I go up and I stand up after, because he's acting like he's about to have another heart attack. Again, a performance, I'm sorry to say. And looking down and just looking like he just doesn't feel like he's going to pass out. And so I stand up immediately, just automatically wanting to nurture and help him. And I stand up to, he's leaving the stage, he's walking the stairs, and I go, and he's looking weak. And so I go to walk with him, and I go to carry his guitar for him, and he rips the guitar out of my hand like that. Like, you're going to ruin the image thing I have going on right now. It was frightening, because he wasn't weak at all. He was stronger than an ox. But it was a performance. Even after he left the stage, he knew he was still being watched. So that was a starting point when I started to realize what was really going on. Larry, part of the appearance was being a pauper, because in order to get people to donate money to his cause, I want to do that, he had to keep up the appearance that he was a pauper. He was struggling financially. And I knew this not to be true, because when my lease was up on my car, and he was having me drive him around anyway. He was driving around, by the way, an old Camaro that somebody had donated to him, and it was always breaking down. So he was always calling me from payphones, come pick him up and take him this and that place. So when it came time for me to go get my car, he wanted to come with, and he did. And next thing I know, he's helping me negotiate in the room, and next thing I know, he's pulled out $2,000 out of his pocket and put it down on the table for this car that I wanted. And right there, I should have heard cha-ching, I'd just been bought. Because that was an obligatory situation then from there on, that whenever he needed to be driven somewhere, I was the ticket, I was the taxi. So there went that part of my life. But he was always, I want to say, greasing the palms of everybody that we came in contact with that was a service person. People in the airport, hotels. He was constantly sipping them 20s, so that later they're going to treat me really good next time I come here. And so he was always buying everybody to make sure that he was treated like royalty when he came back.
Did you ever get a sense he was letting on, or was there?
He always had large amounts of cash, and it was in boxes. I don't know what his banking situation was completely. We went to the bank once. I sat there for hours while he did something. I don't know what, but mostly there was just cash, large amounts of cash exchanged for everything he did.